blessed and holy day of the week. So, just pretty much woken up. Well, not long ago anyway. So I was just writing a little and studying a little and all that, trying to find out what is going on in this world, which is a little hard to find out what they're actually planning in regards of, we have the wars in the Middle East and all that, and then the refugees and the Mohammedans, the great influx of Mohammedans into Europe. And the question is, what is the goal of all this? I've read different quotes and all that from different sources, even before it actually began to happen in regards of, for example, we will destroy the West, with the Mohammedans or with Islam. And the quote didn't use the word Mohammedans. They used Islam it says that because we control Islam. I think it was like from one of the Freemasons, a high-ranking Freemason. I think the quote is said to come from. Then of course we have the Jesuits, which says they pretty much the Jesuit general, the black Pope, so-called Pope. Talking about that he controls the whole world. So if he controls the whole world, he should also control Islam, right? Going back in the years and all that. And then it seems like some of these Mohammedans coming up in Europe seem to have been promised, gold and silver nearly, and in regards to it's just. I do wonder if those, in regards to the CIA, Catholics in action and so forward. Yeah, I do wonder what they are up to in any case. So, besides conflict, of course, because conflict seems to always be a good thing for the Antichrist. And I read something, you can see different things and all that. The thing is, are they, what is that point? We also have quotations on World War III in regards to the Mohammedans in the Western world, so-called, one of these so-called prophecies of the satanic Freemasons and all that, where we have First World War, Second World War, and Third World War explained in some details and so forward. So just trying to figure out how, anyway. So besides that, in regards to I was writing a little in regards of, I was looking into some of the, what shall we say, bigger guys in regards to how they would actually look on these things. And I've what's called Eric Phelps, I think he's called, that is in regards of the Vatican assassin and all that, but he also, there's some things that I'm, anyway. But I wanted to see his opinion on this, and he seems to think that it's to stir up the European people, getting the Mohammedans into it, and at some point stirring up the European and making them go, in regards of the Roman Catholic Church. And I have seen where the Roman Catholic Church are like out there in regards of, we should defend Christianity and all that. So I'm thinking in regards of maybe what the wolves, as the Mohammedans actually used to get the lambs into the fold of the other wolves, which are clothed in sheep clothing, if the sheep, if the sheep are seeing these wolves, which are plain, and they might get fearful, and then it will stir them maybe in the direction of the wolves in sheep clothing that looks like sheep. So into their fold instead. And that, that's just in the arms of the Antichrist. So, but anyway, I don't know what is, but it's probably not anything good, as it usually is not good. So, it's sad because in the, when I grew up, in the past, we pretty much had it pretty peaceful, And then this country went out to make war. It was exploding and so forward, and that was a pretense for all the wars. And apparently, in the what shall we say, in the in regards of in the speech of democracy, whatever, something like that. Anyway. So, but in any case, the two biggest, as I write here, the two biggest deceptions on Jesus is the Roman Catholic fake Jesus cookie wafer God, who is continual, than fake only prophet Jesus, who never died for the sins of the world on the tree. And right, Christians, be aware of the wolves. So we have, the thing is, we have we have the papists, the Romanists, which we also known as Roman Catholics, and then we have the Mohammedans, and some of these people are singing like the ecumenical and a deception. So it seems to me that both of these religions hate true Bible-believing Christians. It's very sad. So these wolves, and it should be easy for the Christians to see the plain wolves of Mohammedans because they stink miles away. It's harder to catch the Roman Catholics in regards of they are more deceptive in their way. Now, it's not to say that the Mohammedans, of course, it's not always the thing, but if they are honest, when you ask them about, you can ask them, do you believe in Jesus? And they will say yes. Well, that might be, he might actually believe that, or her, she might believe that, because they do have a version of Jesus. But then you ask, okay, so you believe in Jesus. Do you believe he's the Son of God? And they will say, if they're honest, no. You see, the Jesus they have is a fake. Maybe I should take the camera up here, then I look in the so they have this fake version of Jesus that is only a prophet. Only a prophet. Now, that only prophet didn't die on a tree for the sins of the world, and thereby he wasn't resurrected because he wasn't dead 3 days and 3 nights. So we have 3 pillars of the faith of Jesus Christ, which they just have totally removed, which they don't believe in. It should be very easily for a Christian to see that these are plain wolves. These people don't even have sheep clothing on them. They are denying Christ, that he is the Son of God, and they are denying that he is God in the flesh, because as they say, God cannot have a son, which is blasphemy, because God has a son. But of course they look it on the other way around. They think it's blasphemy to say God's prophet Muhammad. And again, it's very easily seen by any Christian reading their Bible, knowing the Bible, knowing some Christian history and so forward, that this is pretty much bullshit, They're following a false prophet. It should be very easy, but sadly, it seems like Christians today are like in this ecumenical, what shall we say, ecumenical emotional state where they don't read the Bible and it's all wrong. You have to be very, very, very careful, because there's only one way to salvation, and that road Satan has tried to, make hard to find. There's only salvation in the true version of Yeshua. Repent and believe in him who was executed on the tree for the sins of the world. That's the whole point. Why do you think we break the bread and drink the wine? To remember what he did for us. No, it does not become the literal body, blood, flesh. Actually, I don't think they actually still, in the past at least, it was illegal or whatever, that to actually drink the wine. It was for the priest, I'm thinking they might actually have wanted the alcohol for themselves, Anyway, in any case, the whole idea of breaking the bread and drinking the wine is to remember what our Master did for us. That he died on the tree on our behalf. So they pretty much, perfect, spotless, sinless Passover lamb. Passover lamb. Come on. He is the slain Passover lamb. So he's the living bread sent from his Father, from his Father from the heavens into the world. The Word that became flesh, and the Word, the living bread, was broken, and his wine poured out for the sins of the world. Anyway, so we do this in remembrance and all, and that's the Mohammedans to just reject. They hate the light. They want to stay in the darkness. Many of them, they just want to follow their satanic tradition. Think about it. The Arabs, had like 600 years, and as I understand it, there was actually Christians around in Saudi Arabia as well. And there was Jews as well. But, it's not like they couldn't have asked the people about, who is this Jesus guy? Instead they, if I remember correctly, they just killed them off. They murdered them, both Jews and Christians, if I remember correctly. So that's a good way of doing it, right? Okay. Yeah, 600 years after the event. You trust a false prophet, thus coming this guy around Muhammad and all that. Oh yeah, we'll trust in him instead of, the first century witnesses. Oh yeah, let's throw the first century witnesses and the word of God in regards of the so-called Old Testament over the shoulder and just believe in, in a false prophet. And even the Quran itself talks about if you are concerned, or what do you call it, if you're in doubt about what is, talked about, go ask those Christians reading the Bible, do we actually have is something wrong with our religion? And, are we actually believing in something false? Yeah, you are. You are following a false prophet. But of course, if you tell a Mohammedan, you just closed door, right? Never, just continuing in following this pedophile false prophet, right? Having sex with a 9-year young girl when he was 54 years old? You have to be kidding me. And setting him on like a pedestal as the perfect example is something is terrible wrong. And that's not only, and if you're Mohammedan, you probably know a lot more of weird things going on in regards of Muhammad. Yeshua said that, in regards to a marriage, man and a woman, that's the perfect example to follow after, And what did Muhammad say? 4 wives, right? Or something like that. How many did he himself have? Was like 11 or something like that? I can't remember. Anyway, in any case, he's not following after the true light. So, and he's making up his own rules and, get back to so much more. He was God in the flesh. He was the Son of God, and he was God in the flesh, sent by his Father in the heavens. God is not an absolute singular God. He is it's not an absolute singular God. He is plural singular. That's the word I was looking for. I'm, just woken up and all that. He is a plural singular God. The Son was there from the beginning with his Father when they created and in their likeness in the very beginning on the sixth day, around 6,000 years ago. So Elohim is in Hebrew is plural. As I understand it from, one of these, higher Mohammedan guys talking about the name Allah, and actually if you look onto Wikipedia in regards of was like Ilah and Ilaha or something like that, where you have the singular and plural. Well, if you actually honestly, as far as I can see, want to, it's like you can look on the Wikipedia in regards to this, like Ilah, and that's why I think it's sad when Arab Christians are actually using Allah as the name of God, because when you look at this guy that I saw in regards to one of these higher Mohammedan guys and all that, talking about that Allah in itself, the word in itself can only be absolute singular. There is no, in regards of a son or anything that cannot be. But that was a lecture on that. As you hear, Ilah, that's absolute singular. I would think the equivalent on the Hebrew is El. That would be the there's another actually. We have some problems with the was it Eloah maybe in regards to the Hebrew actually. Eloah. There we go. Apparently it just changed to but anyway, El and Eloah is singular in the Hebrew, if I remember correctly, and Elohim is plural, the plural form. And now we have some problems with the camera, apparently. Hopefully it will, anyway, maybe I should do this and that. Okay, so we have Ilah, and we have the plural, that is Aliyah. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it totally correctly, but, so I think Aliyah would probably be the when you have Elohim, that would be the correct translation. And of course, when you translate the name of Yehovah, you wouldn't translate it to Allah. You would translate it to Yehovah because that is his name. It's that's good. See, there we go. Let's see wherever the camera is. So anyway, and I can't remember. Do we already have problems with the camera again? Apparently. Hopefully it will swing around. So in regards of Allah, it was said to be absolute singular and blah, blah, blah. And you also see an oath or a statement when you become a Mohammedan. You can find that on YouTube, where people are saying like there is only one God and, blah, blah, blah. So you pretty much deny the son of, that's annoying, this, I should actually be able to find it on YouTube actually in regards of this. So, but everything is out there on YouTube these days. Everybody have a camera, so it's hard to hide the facts from people because it's, and I've seen multiple, the Mohammedans probably know this saying or oath or whatever. I'm not sure you directly, but they say with their lips they reject the Son of God, and then they become Mohammedans, following Satan. Way to go. So, but in any case, Christians should have no problem finding out that the Mohammedans are wolves. Let's see here. Converting to... we'll use the Islam, only because it's probably hard to find if I write Mohammedans, Mohammedanism. But I don't like use the terms Islam or Muslims because the words mean something. I don't agree with it, It's and the Mohammedans might get offended without using, I don't care. It's not my. Let's see here. This converting prayer. I guess it must be also if I search on Wikipedia. I don't think I actually can call any Mohammedan when I'm making a video. That could actually be nice. Say hello. See here. Mohammed, no, Islam conversion. I would maybe call it of God. Let's see here. But certain restrictions, rules for those. Oh yeah, okay. Maybe it's the Shahada, whatever they talk about. Let's see what it is. But it's for. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I hate these. Thanks Rome again in regards of getting this from the European Union, and yeah, the blue flag, like the colors of Mary and the 12 stars. What that actually was just over the bridge, and there was like an EU flag and the Palestinian flag. I did wonder what was going on in regards to that. I would be ashamed, in regards of this flag. You just fired over 600 rockets into Israel. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, here we have the Shahada. On the video, Sutani swears an oath called the Shahada, which has two parts. First, he says, yeah, you can, I don't want to say it, But they pretty much denounces that that he has a son and all that. Then he says, I testify, yeah. So it's the same thing with the Mormons. It's the same thing with the 7-day, the spirit of prophecy, and thereby you have to accept her, and the Mormons, you have to accept Joseph Smith as a prophet and all that. So in regards of it, when they testify there's no God but Allah, they're denying Jesus Christ the Son, because they're in regards of only being singular God without any Son. So they deny God's Son. And in regards of, I testify in regards of that Muhammad is, the messenger of, this false God. Anyway, without any Son. So apparently, let's see here, find in page, let's see, oath. Okay, oath. Oh, where did it go? Oath. Okay, let's see here. On the video, Sitena swears an oath called the... Okay, we already had... Oh, okay, what's oath? Okay. As a general rule, saying these lines aloud is enough to convert to Islam, because they deny the any oath under Islamic law. Now, what did Yeshua say about swearing an oath? Don't do it. Anyway, the history of those and maybe he said that because he knew that Satan would use this, and he knew if you're swearing an oath, you become part of the system in one way or another. It doesn't matter if you proclaim Christian or whatever, you shouldn't swear an oath. We see the Nazi soldiers swearing an oath. That's probably more material, but I've seen where they stand with this, which actually looks like actually I saw another one in regards of the oath. Oh, that was a surprise, because every Catholic and Orthodox Christians are making an upside cross. Now, I wouldn't even make it. If it was a cross in itself. But when they're making it, it's an upside cross. The Satanists use it as well in regards of Satan. But anyway, so you have you can find the image pretty quickly on Google. Just search in regards to upside cross and the Pope, and you should be able to actually see that the Pope is sitting on a chair thing where they have. I think it's these two fingers and like this, and Well, where was it? I saw it. Yeah, oh, that was a satanic statue, but they were more like, they had a little long, but they still had the two fingers down. It's and three fingers up. And we see the Nazi soldiers. We see the Swiss Guard doing that when they take allegiance to the Pope. But they do it like they have more like a spread fingers, where the Nazis seem to. I think it's like that anyway. Just you can look up the information for yourself. I'm not going to, but anyway, I think it was a Baphomet statue I saw yesterday. It's Satanist, clear cut Satanist that don't, that just say they are Satanist, and getting this demonic statue up and all that. Of course, that's the snake as well in regards to, it's just mixing man and woman. You have this, feminine and male fixing into it. Satanic. It's a satanic doctrine. It's the same thing with the New Age. When I was in that, well, I didn't see myself as a New Ager, but it's the same, general rule I pretty much believed in, even if I didn't see myself as a Satanist. I didn't know I was a Satanist, but I was a Satanist. Just because you don't confess yourself as a Satanist doesn't mean that you're not on Satan's team. There are two teams in this world. There's Team Jesus and there's Team Satan. And just because you're proclaiming yourself Christians doesn't mean that you're actually believing in a true version of Jesus. There's lots of satanic versions of Jesus out there, which is not the true version of Jesus. Now, of course, we're talking about the Mohammedans. That's one of. I guess the good thing with the internet is that the Mohammedans have a lot harder time actually hiding these things, because you can go and look for yourself. You don't need to go to a Mohammedan place or whatever to actually, because someone has a camera out and then they put it on YouTube and whatever, and then you can see it for yourself. It's the days of camera, Everybody goes around with a camera. I was actually told yesterday, because I had, I was bicycling and I had this light on. It's actually the second time this happened. All that. People don't really want to talk much. But anyway, people just stare at you like, why are you talking to me? It's not like, I think being in Israel, that's much more freely talking to strangers, And the hostels is like, it's just, people are just aware, yeah, we are in the hostel. It's just, open forum in some sense. You talk to people, you just go over to talk to strangers. It's not seen as something weird, And if people don't want to talk to you, well, they don't want to talk to you. Anyway, what was Shahad? Oh, I can't even remember Shahada. Is just wolves in without sheep clothing, and shahada. Okay, I got it. I actually got it. The first pillar of Islam. Oh, so it's the first pillar. And in regards to pillar, it's like in the New Testament we have Paulus is talking about the pillars of James and Peter and John, and actually belittling them, but. Again, I would be careful of Paulus. We were warned about wolves in sheep clothing, right? And I think he did, and I think he's in the New Testament. But that is not to say that he is not a great witness in regards to who Yeshua was, but we just have to be aware that Yeshua told us that we should be aware of wolves in sheep clothing. And we have one converting to Islam, becoming a Mohammedan. Converting to Mohammedanism and becoming a Mohammedan. That's okay. Let's see here. And I know we have a Danish, saw a Danish video as well where this Danish guy converted. We're really not doing our job here. If people are just, it's very sad. Let's see if it wants to come around and all that. You Mohammedans and Roman Catholics both hate Bible-thumping, believing Christians, because they expose their wicked systems. Oh, better to kill them off, right? To murder them on what basis? Because they believe in the truth. Let's see what we have here. That's going to lag.
appreciate the hospitality of education, come from an educational background. And I was never pressured into any religion at all. But the one thing that my parents taught me.
Yeah, the thing in regards to parents, we are told to instruct our children in the in the Torah, and we're just casting our children into Satan's candy shop and saying, oh well, they will find out for themselves. That's as parents we are told to instruct our children in the truth. And we're instructing the children in lies and paganism and heathendom, like Easter, Christmas, Sunday, Halloween, Easter bunnies, Satan Claus, gnomes, what is it called? These tooth fairies, whatever, all these abominations and all that, and lies and deceptions. And just casting them into Satan's candy shop. Atheism, evolution. Evolution is a big one, teaching them that they're just animals and just go out and have sex to the left and the right and then murder your children and all that. It's just this is just totally wicked.
Search for knowledge. Okay, so the 3 books: Bible, Torah, Quran. Although my family is a Christian background, so of course we lean towards that Bible, which was a good thing.
Yeah, the thing is, if you read your Bible and know your Bible and look at the Mohammedan faith, you should, if you knew your Bible, be able to discern that something is terrible wrong with Muhammad. It's so clear. It's as but apparently it's not so clear for people. Apparently.
I read that for many years, caused a lot of confusion and a lot of questions. Those questions still today have not been answered. But when I got to the 3rd book, which was the Quran, the answers were clear. And so, continuing my education, graduating, getting married, children, the Quran has always resonated. So the only thing left was for me is to put it into action. So I'm here in front of you guys today to make the commitment. So, thank you.
There we go again with the praising of a false god. It's something that people have been loved to do for hundreds and hundreds, or actually thousands of years. God has have had a problem leading us back to Him. He tried, and it's seemingly we are always straying. The demons lure us in the wrong direction, and apparently we're just easily dissuaded from following the truth and following our Creator, and then we get to following the demons and Satan instead.
I'm going to have an Arabic phrase recited, and you're going to try to repeat it as best you can after me, and then we'll go through the English translation of it also.
Okay, yeah, that's I've seen others where they do the same. They have the Arabic and then they have the English, and we're just interested in the English, right?
So repeat after me. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah wa ashhadu anna.
Actually, was they just using the plural form in regards to ilaha, or was it just in regards of grammar? Probably it could just be grammar in regards to the Arabic. I don't know enough Arabic to know that, but you have different forms of grammar as well in the Hebrew. So, but it might just have been in regards of grammar, in regards of ilaha, and not actually the plural form. Yeah, I think they translated it as Allah at least. So that's something to look into. If it just doesn't really matter. They reject Jesus as the Son of God. You can use your whole life studying these things.
Mohammedan abduhu wa rasuluhu wa ashhadu anna Isa
So we had the name of at least of Muhammad. Isa is the name, is the word that they use for Jesus, if I remember correctly. I'm trying the best that I can do here. I don't know Arabic. And it seems like there's names for different, you know.
I bear witness. That there is no one. Worthy of worship. Or obedience. Except Allah. And that Muhammad.
There we go. That's they translate Allah. So probably it's just a grammar thing in regards of ilah, and not in regards to the plural form here. So they say there's no other God but Allah, and Allah is an absolute singular God that has no son. So what they're doing with this prayer is denying that God has a son. So who are they denying? They're denying the true version of Jesus Christ. That's what they're denying. They keep to the darkness and reject the light. It's very sad. And then of course they profess that in regards of Muhammad, that he's anyway. Well, let's just.
Is his slave. And messenger. And I bear witness. That Jesus. The son of Mary. Is the messenger of Allah. And his slave. Allah. Congratulations.
And his what?
That Jesus. The son of Mary. Is the messenger of Allah. And his slave.
Okay. Yeah. So they proclaim Yeshua, as many do, that he is, just a messenger. And apparently they also say he's the slave of Allah. A Christian could say, yeah, Yeshua is a prophet. Absolutely. And he is, he might be actually the greatest prophet, and he prophesied about a lot of things which we have in the New Testament. Now, of course, he was also there in the Old Testament, but so-called Old Testament, the Torah and the prophets. Yeshua said that Moses wrote about him. Might pay attention and go back and read the Torah and see, anyway. So. Yeah, the thing is, Yeshua is a prophet, that's true, but he's not only a prophet, he's so much more. He is God in the flesh, he is the Son of God, and that's what they are denying, Find a Mohammedan and ask them, See, maybe you should ask multiple Mohammedans and just see if you actually, it's easier if you ask, let's say you ask 10 Mohammedans or 5 Mohammedans and all that. And let's see you get, 4 that says one thing, are agreeable. And then you find one that is not agreeable, then you might have because if they're lying to you, they might try to use different, so if they're, telling the truth, it's, if you have 4 that agrees or 9 that agrees and 1 that doesn't agree, you might be on the right track. In any case, you can look it up for yourself, of course, what they actually believe and all that. But I don't think it would be something that they would lie about. But you never know, of course. But they do not believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and they do not believe he is God in the flesh. That is a pure satanic religion rejecting the truth. And then, you see people, actually just read a Mohammedan woman saying that we're pretty much the same, it's the same God we worship and blah, blah. It's just bullshit. Bullshit. I don't like using that word, but it is bullshit. I don't know, it is, It is not true. There's 2 different gods. One God has a son, another God does not have the son. Is it the same God we're talking about? No. One has a son, another doesn't. It's not the same man we're talking about. If we have a man with a son and a man without a son, we don't know their names or anything like that. Doesn't matter in this case. We have a man with a son and another man without a son. What do we conclude by logic, or what is it called? There's some other words. Have some sensible understanding. What is it called? any case, we conclude it's not the same man. It's not that hard. It's just because Satan is trying to hide the facts of what people actually believe and all that. But anyway, so that was the Shahada, whatever, Have to be kidding me in regards to this, And he was reading the Bible and blah, blah. Well, you haven't read the Bible good enough, apparently, Because if you had read the Bible good enough, you would have discounted the Quran when it rejected that Jesus is the Son of God. Have to be kidding me, Just... that's the times we seem to live in. People are deceived in many different ways, and of course, then there's the Roman Catholics, right? And that's if we can't even discern that Mohammedanism is plain stinking wolves, we will have a big problem discerning the Roman Catholics as not Christians, Because, one thing is to find out, or reject wolves. Another, find out, stinking wolves that just, they flat out reject that Jesus is God and so forward. If we can't even discern that as Christians, or if you as a Christian can't discern that, and, how are you going to discern in regards of wolves in sheep clothing, which Yeshua warned us about, it's just, anyway, so Eliha, maybe, anyway, I think it was, in regards to the Allah thing and in that Arabic prayer, I think it was pretty much, what is it called? Yeah, grammar thing, so, anyway, anyways, let's get back to the Roman Catholics, right? So we got pretty much, we used a lot of time on the Mohammedans now. Again, if you're in adult research, it's always good to research things for yourself, because, I could be a stinking wolf in sheep clothing, and I have, sometimes I make mistakes, but I'm trying the best that I can, and. But anyway, here are the statement that I've written on Facebook. Yeshua is God Almighty Jehovah. The Pope, an unholy faker, is the Antichrist, man of the number 666. So, just study the Bible, Just study the Bible instead of trusting people, and study history, which they have pretty much hidden very nicely away from us, a lot of it. Hitler was a good Catholic. He was a good Roman Catholic. We even have Catholic sources confirming that. But of course, they try to spin it around then. Oh yeah, it's true that Hitler was a good... that Hitler was a Roman Catholic, and it's true he was in good standing until his illegible death and so forward. And then they begin to twist it around, as the Catholics have a way of doing, They are so good at twisting everything and anything and promoting these... filthy, they're just, spewing their puke all over scripture and all that, and trying to make it fit their cult. The biggest, greatest deception, I think, in regards of proclaiming itself to be Christian, yet persecuting the Christians and burning their documents. And I have no idea how any Christian could be part of that system. Anyway, of course, we have Yeshua saying, "Come out of her, my people, not to take part in her sins," or something like that, in the book of Revelation. Anyway, so the two biggest deceptions of Jesus is, that's not to say that there's a lot of more deceptions out there in regards of Jesus and all that, and in regards to the Bible. Satan is so many times Satan is using these he's making people using the Bible, but yet not actually reading it as it is, but using, taking their occult doctrines and mixing it into the Bible. And I've seen so many instead of just listening to the people actually reading their Bibles, they want to go to these so-called, these satanic teachers and and mix the occult with the Bible, So they get so they never get the right, it's just, it's so diabolically, mixing like Hinduism with the Bible, the practices of chakras and all this snake oil, it's very sad to see, and it's how Satan is leading. I had a guy that had, he came first with one version of Jesus. Yeah, Jesus is this and that and all that. And then there went some time, and I said, first time I said, no, that's not the true. And I told him about the true version and all that. Then after some time, he came again. And I said, oh, now I found out who Jesus is. And then was another false version. I was like, okay. Then I told him again about the true version of Jesus. Then sometime went along again, and then he came to me again telling me on the third version of Jesus. And every time he came to me, he believed as much as he did at that time that he was correct. It never actually went through his mind that he had now had 3 different versions of Jesus, and none of them was true, but he believed in, each of them as much as the other, at that point. Yet he was wrong the 2 other times. Now he was on the third version of Jesus, So it's just, how can people see, something is wrong? And I was still standing on the same version of Jesus over all this. I don't know how long it was, over half a year or something. I don't know. But at least it was, it went some time between these, instead of just accepting the true version and instead of just, maybe reading the Bible instead of going to these false teachers and trying to, get this and that, it's very sad. So there are many, and one of my other, he's into yoga now and all that, and he's going totally, trying to tell him, that's another guy. I'm trying to tell him in regards of it, and he's also coming up with fake versions of Jesus. I think I've heard at least 2 now, or ideas of these things. Maybe 3 actually as well. But instead of just accepting that either, it would be honest to say, yeah, this is true. Yeshua, this is what Yeshua is saying, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe that. Instead of actually just being honest, okay, yeah, in regards to the first and true version of Jesus Christ, instead of just, or leaving Jesus alone and saying, well, I don't think it's the way and all that, they make up their own versions of Jesus. It's deceptive. It's not honest. It's just deceptive. And why would they do that? Well, maybe because Satan is very good at this, what do you call it? Satan is very good at, deceiving people. Getting them off track, and yeah. So it's a never ending. I was on another guy that had a great following, and he was in the New Age as well, and I tried to talk to him and all that, and I could just feel, oh no, it's just the same thing and all that. So I was like, okay, it doesn't really seem to help anyway, so, I closed it down and all that. And then I think it was some weeks later or something like that, he made some voice messages to me. But it seems very honest, that he talked about, he couldn't really, he was looking for the truth, but he couldn't really see it, it seems like, it's like he was blinded and so forward and blah. And I just tried to explain who Jesus actually was and all that. And he wanted to have me make some videos in regards to the testimony and all that. I had some problems believing that I had been in the New Age before and all that. He apparently looked into my pictures and found out that, I have some of the old satanic pictures still on my And if anyone, you can just look in the past of my, I have so many messages in regards to the past of my, when I was in there. So it's not like, as is, I guess it would be very hard to fake, I think, in regards of the Facebook things, in regards of all the things that I wrote through the years where I was in Satan's candy shop. Besides, I still have the videos from some of it. Anyway, from the past, I should probably delete those, but I haven't really done that. But he had a problem believing that I had actually. But it seemed like it was just for a while, and then he went to these teachers again, or other of these. So it's just sad. I don't know. It's just sad. It's I really it's just became more and more. And I don't really care about it. I care about what the Bible says and all that. Again, you can use your whole life on studying falsehood. You can just use your whole life. You can fill up your brain. Satan has put enough out there, so you have a whole lifetime of studying falsehood, and you can get experience. It has become very, even the state is promoting yoga, which is Hinduism. It's paganism, and the state is promoting these things. My teeth are a little green. That's from eating all those dandelions yesterday. Yeah, you get somewhat of a taint on the teeth. It's not like it's not the big Colgate, whatever you want to call it. But of course, I have some. Yeah, I pretty much did some stupid things in my day. So anyway, that's another. Let's not get off track here. So the two biggest deceptions on Jesus is the Roman Catholic fake Jesus cookie wafer God, who is continual, perpetual, sacrifice for the dead and the living, and the Mohammedan fake only prophet Jesus, who never, so many people are being led astray. Mohammedans do not believe that Jesus is the Son of God and God in flesh. 2. They do not believe he was executed for the sins of the world, or executed. They do not believe he was put on a tree. They believe, it's like they reject that. So he didn't die for the sins of the world. Oh, really? Okay. That he was resurrected, because if he didn't die, he wasn't resurrected, right? So that's 3 pillars of the truth that are rejected by the Mohammedans. That should be more than enough to discount Mohammedanism as a satanic religion that leads people astray onto the lake of fire, to the second death, where both body and soul wolf. He is a blind guide leading the blind into the ditch, and all of them fall into it. Do you understand it? It's a lie. It's deception. Come out of it. And that's, again, there's a lot of ways that, we see people going from one satanic religion to another. Catholics believe the same exact thing. Might be something about that Rome might have actually created Mohammedanism, Islam, and controls it. In any case, the thing is, you can see a lot of the things, of the same things in regards to Mohammedanism and Roman Catholicism. For example, all the Mary is without sin, that she's taken up into the heavens and all that. Where do you find that in the Bible? Well, both the Catholics believe that, Roman Catholics, and the Mohammedans. Isn't that odd that 2 different religions would believe the same falsehood? Anyway, they have other things that is just, where you just see this, the tail, or ass, if you want to. You could say that Rome is the mouthpiece, and Mohammedanism is the asshole. Maybe that's a bad expression, right? In any case, the thing is, Rome is, here until Yeshua returns and cast a system, or cast a man that is in the head, is what do you call it? Is in the office of the Roman emperor, in regards to the office of the papacy, the Antichrist, the high priest of sun worship, and the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. So it's a Roman horn. And we know that the Antichrist, the man of 666, sets himself as the pinnacle power of political power and spiritual power, and political, temporal, civil power, and spiritual power. He even sets himself up as the head of Christianity. So not only does he set himself up as the king of paganism and king of heathendom and high priest of sun worship and all that, he also thinks himself to be set up as the head of Christianity. And that was the reason for the protest. You know why they were called Protestants? Let me help you out. Protest. Protestant. Protesting against the Antichrist. You see, if you go back and read what they wrote about the Antichrist and the whole riding the beast and all of that, they knew what we don't know in our days. All the Protestants, the millions of Christians pointing down to Rome and the Antichrist. We don't know anything about that in our days, do we? Why don't we know anything about it? Why are no one warning us about it? Why are it's just these times of ecumenical movement? Why are they sweet talking and singing love to the Antichrist? Why are they not warning us about him? Huh? You think the Jesuits might have infiltrated, the congregations? Why no one speaking about it? Huh? No one. Seemingly no one. It's very few. There are some, but very few. Well, of course, okay, the SDA might actually be the only ones that I've heard in Denmark still, and they made this, made this thing, but I still think they have some issues, and it seems like they also have some betting with Rome and all that. So on the higher, infiltrating everything and taking them back to the Antichrist. That's the whole idea of the Jesuits. I think they have been very successful because we didn't stand for the truth, because we could have stopped this. We could just have taught our children the truth, but we didn't teach our children the truth. We didn't hang on to the truth. We have forgotten it. We don't care anymore. We are not Christians anymore, are we? Well, we proclaim this country. 70% of the Danish people apparently proclaim this country to be Christian. Oh, really? Then why are we not, doing something about these things? Why are we not proclaiming the truth? Why are we running back to the Antichrist? Why are we not standing for the truth? Why are we keeping Christ Mass, going back to Rome and paganism? Yule, Yulna, Odin, the spirit of Christ Mass or the spirit of Yule? You really think that's the spirit of truth? Huh? It's the spirit of drinking, whoring, and lying and deceiving and all these, filthy things, Nothing to do with the Bible. You can't find it. You can't find Christmas in the Bible. Okay? Can't find it. Easter is not there either. Well, some translations that mistranslate the word Passover, like the King James Version one place. But overall, it's not there. It's just East, and we know the Battle of Easter and all that. I actually wrote about that. It's just let's see here if I have it. I wrote in a Catholic. I'm not on my page here. Let's see here. And we see so-called Christians. I was on an Anabaptist forum, and they, making feminists out of the girls on this Christian forum, and I I was asking questions and all that. I actually made a video on it. I think it was censored on Facebook, so I have it. I downloaded it on my mobile. So if it was actually deleted, I think it is, because I didn't want to take it down. I didn't think it, oh yeah, it had some names and all that. Well, the names are on Facebook and all that, but I think Facebook has something in regards of names and all that. How are you ever going to talk about anyone in regards to their opinions if you can't mention them? It just make it no sense, And I didn't say anything that the person didn't have, so yeah. Anyway, let's see here. Roman Catholics, Universalist, Romanist, Ultramontanist, Papist. Wolves in sheep clothing. Be aware of false prophet which come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are raving wolves. Jesus didn't warn us about wolves, right? He wants it about wolves in sheep clothing. Here we have the Armenian genocide, which is also in regards to the Syrians and Greek, which Turkeys, yet to this day, as far as I know, reject. They haven't, they still it's just insane, They reject the truth about this ever happening. So in regards of my, this is in regards of some of the insects. I just bought some more of insects yesterday in frozen. They are actually the medium-sized grasshoppers. I had some dried frozen, which I can just stand outside, which actually that's really, very easily stored. But the other ones I have in the freezer. I'm not. They look a little like, I was just wondering if they taste different, if they just have been frozen down, and not freeze dried. There's a lot of legs in the package. It looks at it. Oh, that's a good article. The realm of research. Sadly, they use Roman numbers. I hate Roman numbers. I'm never going to use Roman numbers. That's for sure. That's. I hate Roman. All these short forms in regards to Romanism and all that. If I can stay away, I do stay away. But that's the Roman Pontifex, and it's an article from a magazine from 1943, and of course there's a lot of articles out there because it was no secret. The Protestants knew. But anyway, it has documented where they get the information from and all that. I can't remember what it's called, but very nice. Let's see here. I've been years trying, and there's still a lot of things that I do not know, and trying to figure out and all that, what is going on, but it have taken me years to try to snuggle around all the minds and all of that, and researching scripture, history, and all that. And I just know a little, there's huge amount of I feel like I've just touched the top of the mountain or the iceberg, that there's a huge, so we really need to wake up and stand for the truth, people. The more Christians that stand for the truth, the better. The more lights in this world, the better, And, because we can help each other reach, go further, like the Anabaptists seems to have been using, like Andreas Karlstedt and Zwingli. They were, going step by step, refining their way in regards to the Bible. And I think the Anabaptists became the closest to that very thing of following Jesus Christ. So where is that thing? This is in regards to the one I answered in regard. Yeah, that's the second one mentioning John 6 and all that. And I'm on a Catholic forum, and hey, he and the so-called doctor invited them, invited the other Catholics to, if anyone say Easter is pagan, lead them to this place. So he himself invited Protestants and Christians to come to his page, and hey, I'm all for it, I'm all for it. If he wants to have a talk about it, well, let's. And again, I put I put a good amount of information on it in regards of Easter and all that, and not a single one have answered that. And I think I know why, because you can't go against the information I put in there, because it's the truth. It's just, they can't even deny it themselves because it's the truth, They have a big problem there, but anyway, as I understand, he hasn't deleted the information yet, but, it's just, he's, trying to help show the light for some people to get out of this system. Anyway, this is what I write. Dakia answering a Catholic on the false cookie Jesus. Write to her. I think it's a woman anyway. Maybe it's a man. I don't know. In regards of John 6, Yeshua is talking about himself. This is because they want to have it talking about the cookie Jesus. Just the cookie. They're just brainwashed into this cookie Jesus. Oh, there's the cookie Jesus that saves them. And of course, it's nice when you begin to be able to actually dig into what they actually believe. Because if you just talk to a Catholic, you might come out and say, oh yeah, they just believe in Jesus, right? Take care of wolves in sheep clothing. They believe in a cookie, a wafer. What I haven't read about that, what is happening, like, for example, the nuns and what they, it's insane. It's totally insane. Anyway, what any, and they just always defend the things. You find out the pontifex actually goes back to, the high priest of the old Roman mystical religion, and actually going back to the second king of the first, what shall we say, the first. So it's very, very close to the beginning of. I hate having these. Cut myself. Hate these. Anyway, it just feels like I'm not getting. Maybe I just put it a little too rough on 2 seconds. Let's see if I can get it off. It's really stuck. Yeah, that's really stuck. Come on. There we go. See if I can get some. Oh, my hand. I just feel I feel like it's like no blood getting to the finger or something like that. So, oh yeah. Anyway, so in regards of John, so they want to talk about they believe in this cookie Jesus, and so that's the thing, that's the thing. They when they're talking about Jesus, they're talking about cookie. They're talking about cookie, a wafer that they continually sacrifice in the whorehouses of the Roman Catholic churches. Anyway, Moon, the Zero Hollow. In regards of John 6, Yeshua is talking about himself, him being the living bread from the heavens, not a round cookie. He did not say, come and believe in the way for God. He was pointing to believe in him whose living bread would be broken for the sins of the world once and for all. Do this in remembrance of me. We break the bread. I'm emphasizing break. It's not a round cookie you just put on the tongue or anything like that. We break the bread. It's symbolic because his body was broken. That's the whole idea why we break the bread. When we see that the bread is broken, which is would be a daily thing for people, they can remember what he did for us. So every day, for example, if they ate bread, they would maybe sit together with others and break the bread. And every time they saw that the bread was broken, they would remember back to their master and God, whose body was broken on the tree. And then afterwards, we break the bread and drink the wine. And every time they would drink that wine, they would remember back that his blood gushed out for the sins of the world. You see? It's not a literal body. It's not literally his blood. It's to remember. Jesus or Yeshua was talking symbolic so many times in parables, and so they didn't understand what he was saying, Yeah, it's just... He did it once and for all. One time for all people. He died for the sins of the world. So we remember back what he did for us when he did, when we're sitting there around with other believers and breaking the bread and drinking the bread is God and worshiping and venerating and bowing down before it and all that. That's idolatry. It doesn't matter if it's a cookie, a tree, an idol of some kind, an image or whatever, a crucifix. If you are bowing down, kneeling before it, kissing it, or Old Testament and this and that, in regards of when, for example, I think it's Joshua sitting in front of the throne. Well, who do you think is on the throne? Huh? Did God not say he would come above the, So who do you think that, it's all about Jesus Christ. It's just underneath the surface. Yeshua is there from the very beginning. He's the one taking them out of Egypt. He's the messenger standing in the bush when God comes down and says, I have now come down, because taking his people out of Egypt. He's going with Moses.